single fucking street in this goddamn town. Never had a problem. Never. And I'm talking about cops that hated me wouldn't even pull over and bother me for jaywalking. So I'm on my way down here tonight, and of course I'm jaywalking across the street right over here. Happens to be at the same moment this illustrious new hire for the Eureka Police Department is ripping his ass down here for God knows what. But whatever he's doing, he finds it necessary to pull over and lecture me about jaywalking. Now, you also have to remember, there's nobody else on the street. There's no cars, there's no people, and my take is always, there's nobody there, what does it matter? But this kid who's probably not even half my age is going to lecture me like my dad. I didn't take this shit from my dad. Just this little punk because he got a badge. It's like, gun don't count for nothing, I got those. You know, it's all good. You know? So I immediately get attitudinal. All right, well, if we're going to go there, it might be worth getting arrested over. What the hell? You know, I'm like, first of all, where, you know, you look like we're going somewhere. So, and your sirens on, your lights are on, you're traveling at high speeds. You know, don't you have somewhere more important to be than right here lecturing me on jaywalking? Apparently not. So then we get to, well, I could forget whatever I'm on my way to and take you to jail. I said, you absolutely could. But we both know what's going to happen. I'm going to get into jail, they're going to look me up, they're going to find absolutely nothing. And because they have so many state prisoners in the county jail, I'm going to be out in an hour anyway. Not what he wanted to hear. He knew it was true, but he didn't want to hear it. So at that point, I'm like, well, it was nice almost seeing you, Pete. And I'm like, putting my hands behind my back, getting ready to go for little trips an hour or two. But he got a call over the radio, and it reminded him that there was a robbery going on. So basically, this guy stopped in the middle of it being on the way to a robbery to lecture me about jaywalking. That's pretty much the jaywalking story. And that is your police department at work.
Clap your hands, everybody.
Stop. I don't know, what else do you want? No. Would have been nice. But no, I earned that. Believe it or not. That's why people do earn money on occasion. You know, we don't always rely on white privilege. Sometimes, but not always. So, y'all want to hear about playing frisbee with John Lennon?
Yes! Maybe.
So my dad very early on moved to Manhattan, and I would go there to visit, and then eventually my mother got sick of me and exiled me to my dad's house. So I used to hang out on 72nd and Central Park West, and we would play frisbee across the road. And one day this, I don't know how to say it other than this bedraggled, hippie-looking dude came over and asked if he could play frisbee with us. Okay, I'm not greedy. Wants to play frisbee, let him play frisbee. So first thing he does is throw it right on top of a bus, and then my frisbee is heading uptown. You know, frisbee's going to Harlem. Bye-bye frisbee, have fun in Harlem. Nice to know you. Well, this guy, you know, whips out a $20 bill, which in the 70s was a lot of money. You know, I could get about 10 or 15 frisbees for that kind of cash. And gives it to me and says, sorry about your frisbee, kid, and takes off. I had no idea who this guy was until I got home. My dad used to get New Yorker magazine. Looking in the magazine, I'm like, that's the dude that was playing frisbee with us. And it's an article on John Lennon. And that's how I played frisbee.
They're long. I know. They're not thick.
2 years later, unfortunately, somebody shot him to death. But
That's my.
New York in the 70s, that's kind of how things went.
Beggars can't be choosers, right?
Are you done yet?
I'm almost done, Jesse. One more.
You're doing great.
He's gonna tell the damn Pete joke again.
What's the worst person that came in and you had to kick them out?
In here?
Yeah, sure.
No, I've never had to kick
drug
anybody. See, here's the thing. This is a beer and wine joint. By the time people drink enough beer and wine to get that kind of obnoxious, we're closing anyways.
What about the last place you were?
Hard alky joints are where you kind of get in trouble.
All right, tell us all about it.
Double A. Here
Well, I used to work.
Better good steak and get.
I used to sit them up in college towns because I would hire the front line of the football team. You know, pick the 6 biggest motherfuckers on the football team because college students always need money. You know, and I'd work for various bars. I did it in Santa Cruz and so on, and because I know I'm not a physically intimidating guy, and I know sooner or later I'm going to get that. What are you going to do about it? Well, me? I'm not going to do anything. These 4 Frankensteins behind me are going to beat the crap out of you and throw you out of my bar. But I'm not going to do anything. No, I was the guy with the gun when they couldn't handle it. But that is, I stayed away from 2 things. I did not work biker bars, and I did not work dive bars. That's where you're going to have to shoot somebody one day. And
What was your worst one?
my worst one, what?
The worst one that you had to
Well,
deal
the
with?
worst bar I ever went into is when I first moved here. I did not understand Native American culture as it was at the time. And I actually did not key in. So for instance, when you walk into a bar and all the furniture is either cheap wood or cement, get the fuck out. There's a reason for that. Because they're used to fights and they don't want to have to keep buying furniture. So
Good tip. That's a good tip.
I'm up hoop away, and they only had one bar in the whole town. And it was not particularly white friendly. But being the ignorant white man I was at the time, I saw a bar, I wanted a drink, I was going to go in and get me one. And then, once I get in there, the way I looked at it, you can't whip out. If I just turned around and left, that'd be whipping out. I got to have at least one drink before I head out the door. But I did notice that it was all cement furniture, and there was not a non-native face in the joint. And I was like, oh, thank God. So I basically marched to the bar with my hand on my pistol, ordered a shot of whiskey, and thank God for this bartender. He had pity on this poor little white boy, and he knew that it was probably an important thing that I get out of there alive.
Hoopah?
So,
Were you in Hoopah? Hoopah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what
Now, since then, I've done a lot of drug and alcohol counseling work up there, so I'm a fairly well-known entity on the reservation, but I wasn't known for shit in those days, and he poured me a shot of whiskey, and as he put it on the table, he leaned over and said, "Drink and go." And he was not smiling, so it was obvious what he was trying to get across to me.
You didn't get the fuck out.
And he didn't give me a big drink either. He gave me a little teeny shot and drink and go. Because the other thing I didn't know was probably everybody else in that bar was probably got around than I was. And the truth of the matter is, no matter how many bullets you have in your gun, if that many people, they're going to get you sooner or later. And I managed to get out, get in the vehicle, and about 200 yards out, a van load of natives came up parallel with my car, and the van door opened, and they were all carrying Mini 14s, assault rifles, just trying to give me the message that, go, stay away, don't come back. So, a little hint, if you walk in and it's all plywood furniture or it's all cement, don't stay. Doesn't matter what the ethnicity of the bar is. Get out while you're sick, What else? What else? What else?
What else?
What else?
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
There you go.
A very large-breasted Italian lady whose daddy was a mafioso.
Is your
That's
daddy
an
a
amazing
mafioso?
story. Dude, how did you know this? That's amazing.
Gina.
It's
Her
great.
name was Gina.
Where were you?
And you're damn right I asked permission of her old man to date her before I did.
Oh my God, good job.
Oh, no, this is a prerequisite. This is a man who has people killed for a living.
Good job then.
No. That was Italian. You know, you heard of John Gotti? Yeah, this guy worked for him. Well, back before he actually worked for the guy who was in charge prior to Gotti. But that's another story which I won't go into for legal reasons. Yeah, snitches get stitches. But yeah, she taught me the magic of lewds, the ultimate sex drug. I am so sorry they don't make those anymore.
Yeah, Bill Crosby's like.
I'm sorry?
Crosby.
Fuck Bill Cosby. We're not talking about rape here.
We're just talking about foods.
Oh no, yeah. I heard the,
That's what he's talking about.
No, the lewds wouldn't work for Cosby because they don't knock you out. They just, enlarge any sensations or feelings you may be having. So at a certain point in sex, think about it. When you're having your most fun, then like triple it. And that's a lewd for you. But for some reason, the United States government was like perfectly fine with heroin and cocaine, but lewds had to go. And I ended up working for one of the two major hospitals there, and they had a deal with the insurance company that they would rotate their medications about every 3 or 4 months, just to make sure they were good and fresh when they gave them to you. And for some reason, they thought I was going to take them and throw them in a furnace. Now we're talking perfectly good narcotics here, and they think I'm going to put them in a furnace. They obviously had no fucking clue who I was.
Rookies.
Oh, we had Black Beauties, we had,
What?
you name it, it was in there. So basically they just counted the glass jars melted in the furnace. So I just shove all the pills in a bag and take them home with me at the end of the day and sort them out with the physician's reference. And lo and behold, results in all lose. And we had a lot of fun with that.
They banned them before.
And I, those about the hustling, you could make money off it, and it was, reasonable to expect not to get caught.
Oh, we missed the celebration.
That's what we did. Got me into Studio 54, got me into CBGBs, got me into all the clubs. Because they like recreational tools. Like, I'm sure I have sold drugs to Mick Jagger, I'm sure. And now remember, this is their representatives. These people on these levels don't buy their own narcotics. They have some stooge whom they pay to do it for them. But, yeah, at one time or another, I'm sure I've sold all the 1970s famous people drugs. New York. I'm pretty sure Studio 54 was only in New York. Okay, don't get me started on LA. I don't know nothing about LA at all. I've never been there. As a matter of fact, I used to think I'd been to LA because I was at Disneyland, but I've since found out that Disneyland is not in LA. So I've never been to LA. I've been to Disneyland. I've never been to LA. But so a popular misconception. I don't know if you're how aware of New York you are, but there's a club called CBGB's just recently closed, and I never understood why. For the longest time, it was billed as a punk club Because it really was not a punk club. If you had a band and you wanted to play music on a stage, you could go to CBGB's and they would put you on stage. Now, it so happened that a lot of punk bands played there because a lot of other places wouldn't let them play, but I've seen country music there, I've seen B-52s there, Talking Heads, you know, before they got all famous and fucked up their suits. But that's where you went to practice and to decide what you wanted to put on your first album, or your second album, or your third album, until you got so disgustingly famous you couldn't be seen at CBGB anymore. Well, it was kind of a dive. I mean, you went downstairs into the basement. It smelled like somebody had had sex like 6 months ago and hadn't bathed when they did. And but it was a great place to experience new and interesting bands that later became exceedingly famous. Like the B-52s were not even the B-52s yet. They were just deciding who they wanted to keep in the band and who they wanted to fire.
That's so much judging.
That was a great place that I'm very sorry it no longer exists because of a lot. I mean, that's where the Clash got their American debut, if you know who they are. Lovely band. Decided one day, it being the Queen's birthday, that they would hire a barge and park it right behind the Royal Palace and do a punk version of God Save the Queen in her honor. But let's just say the Queen was not amused. About 5 minutes in, it was a police patrol vehicle that was probably there. They got arrested for which the Queen had a birthday. What can you say? Talk about a woman who just fired her own son. Oh yeah, she's no longer a royal. Andrew just, you know.